who sadly have been given a diagnosis of ovarian cancer. And that brings me to our next guest. Our next guest, some of you will recognise her, apart from the fact that she's beautiful and looks like an older me. Some of you may recognise her. She's a model, she's an actress, and she's been all over TV. And she's also a really very special young woman. She was diagnosed at a very young age, under 30. And she's here to tell you a little bit more about her particular journey. Please, hands together, give a touch of teal welcome to our special guest speaker, please, Shalisha James Davis.
Thank you, that was so lovely. Oh my goodness, right. All right, where shall I stand? Wow, hello, thank you for that lovely welcome, and thank you for inviting me here today as well, and everybody from Ovacome. Today is really wild. This is the first time I've been in a room where there have been other people that have been diagnosed with ovarian cancer. I've been backstage with some of the models and just holding hands with them, knowing that we've been through a similar experience has been very overwhelming and just wild, as you can imagine. So I'm Shalisha, I am an actress, and it is my dream job. Like, I feel so lucky to get to tell stories for a living. And I didn't think I would be here today telling this story, but yeah, we move. So I'm also a wife and to an incredible man who can't be here today because I've left him running our performing arts school back in South Wales. But if he was here today, he'd be saying, "That looked fire," and to hurry up and get to the juicy stuff. So I will get on with that right now. The juicy stuff being that last year in May, I was diagnosed with mucinous ovarian cancer, which is a rare form of ovarian cancer. And even just saying that sentence is a huge step for me. I've really struggled to come to terms with the fact that that is something that has happened. And even like to this day, I wake up and I'm like, sorry, what even was that? Like, what was that? Is wild. But anyway, in the theme of being in movies, I will explain this like a movie. So I'll take you on a little flashback, into a little rotation. November 2021. Life was looking good. I was newlyweds, living my best life, feeling good. I managed to escape the pandemic for a while to film in Spain for 3 months. So it was really cool. I was on this super cool job called Crossfire. It's on BBC iPlayer and Now TV, if you watch it. But it was super stressful, long days, and I was living out of a suitcase. I hadn't had a healthy home-cooked meal in a long time, so when I started to get a bit bloated and feel a bit heavy, I just wrote that off to all the pizza, pasta and paella I'd inhaled for 3 months. I didn't really think much of it. It wasn't until the wardrobe department had to run out and get me a new costume because I couldn't zip up my trousers that I started to feel a little bit embarrassed and quite self-conscious, and I was like, that's wild. So then I had this really bad backache, and I just marked that down to stress, as you just do. And I just couldn't wait to get home so that I could get a massage from my husband, because that would have been nice. But I rock up at Christmas, the family home, and my mum, she looks down at my stomach and she's like, I shut it down real quickly. I was like, no. Took a pregnancy test, it's negative. She's like, are you sure? I was like, I'm positive, it's negative. She was like, stranger things have happened, Shalisha. Yeah. So my stomach is like growing, and eventually I rang the doctors and my bossiness came in handy. I explained my symptoms really well and they brought me in straight away. Long story short, they took my bloods, they took my urine, they took me into an ultrasound, And in February, they found a large mass on my right ovary. And I just remember sitting there and thinking, oh, what? Like, a tumour? What did you say? He was like, yeah, it's pretty big, it's like 10 centimetres. We need to do some tests. And it honestly did feel like a movie, like everything moved in slow motion. Like, you know, the doctor slowly moved over a box of tissues and put a reassuring hand on my shoulder. And I remember looking at him over our masks and glancing at his surgery, and I saw he had a picture of his family with 2 young girls who looked my age. And I locked eyes with him again and was just like, what? He said, look, don't worry, try not to stress. You can take that if you want. Try not to stress. Stay off Google. And you're young. You are young. Those 3 words. At that time, I didn't realise how many times I would hear those 3 words, you are young, and how meaningless they would be throughout my journey. So a couple of weeks later, my results were back, and the doctor explained my results, and it was something like X times your age times how many masses are in the tumour equals, we don't expect it to be cancer, so you're all good. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, so I can go and tell my mum that I don't have cancer. He was like, yeah, you're so young, you're not really a priority at the moment. We will have to do a surgery, but it will be in 6 months' time. Listen, at that point, I just heard not cancer, so I was skipping out of the hospital. I just heard not cancer, I was good. But weeks went by and my symptoms worsened. I was getting heavier, bigger and bigger and bigger. I looked about 7 months pregnant at the time. And side note, being a young woman and looking pregnant, knowing that you don't have a baby growing inside you, does something to your psyche. Being on a gynae ward with other clearly pregnant women, knowing that you weren't pregnant, and the irony of that being, your fertility being compromised, is something that I am still working through this day. Anyway, so I walked, I couldn't walk, and then one day I woke up and was screaming. I woke my husband up and I was like, the pain was just excruciating. I couldn't breathe. It was like someone had stabbed me with a needle and was twisting it around, and then all my 700 nieces and nephews were playing pile on top. It just wouldn't let up. And I didn't know this at the time, but what was happening was my tumour had ruptured and my abdomen was filling with fluid. So I was rushed into hospital, and after a week of being dismissed and being told that, whatever man, that they gave me an emergency laparotomy oophorectomy surgery. And I remember waking up from the surgery and I grabbed the anaesthetist's arm and I was like, did I do good? And he was like, you did really, really well, Shalisha. It was 30 by 30 centimetres when we took it out. Crazy. But I recovered from the surgery really well, physically.
Yeah. But
once my histology report came back and my surgeon told me that I had mucinous ovarian cancer, that slow motion movie returned. I had never heard of ovarian cancer. For once, I had done as I was told and stayed off Google, and with being told that it wasn't cancer, we didn't even say the word around my house. So I felt ashamed and winded all the time. And I was just thinking, how am I going to tell everyone that I told us I was okay, that I'm not anymore and that it's not over? I made a list of things that I didn't expect to feel. Grief, jealousy, shame, anxiety, depression.
Doing
Depression.
Doing great, sis.
Imposter syndrome, isolation, betrayal, and survivor's guilt. I didn't talk much to anyone apart from my therapist. I avoided the young women's group. I didn't want to be part of the community. I didn't want to be part of the cancer club. Cancer was an inconvenience to me. It ruined my plans. It wasn't part of the plan. And the steps that I'd already taken to secure my future had already been so unbelievably difficult. I wasn't about to let cancer disrupt my plans and my dreams that I'd worked so hard to make a reality. So I went back to work. Sooner than I was advised, but rebel for life. Imagine my surprise when I finished my treatment and hobbled back to normal life that I fell into a depression. Not only did I not really understand my feelings, but I felt misunderstood by everyone around me. Because I looked better. I looked healthy, I had my eyebrows, I had my hair. I was back online doing TikTok dances. But I had to get myself out of that hole that cancer had thrown me into. I had to start again. So I began to take gentle steps for myself, to help myself. So what I did is I began to secretly add Instagram pages and message other women who were very, very open about their journeys online. And of course, they were amazing. Some of them are models today, so it was surreal meeting them in real life. Because they helped me not only understand all the feelings that had come, but they validated them themselves. I visited the Maggie Centre in Cardiff, and I met some incredible women there too, but I couldn't help but notice that no one looked like me. I remember thinking, can cancer be so white? I'm yet to meet another young black woman in the UK that's had my experience. If you have me so carry on. Very cancer when you're a young black woman or you know one. Like, come get my handle. You know the quote, be a flamingo in a flock of pigeons? Well, I would really like to be a flamingo in a flock of other flamingos, but with really good hair. Look, we all know how many black women are treated in the healthcare system, and there must be tons of other young black women who share my experience. And it made me realise that perhaps I needed to take a few more steps to reach more young women going through what I'm going through. And sharing this with you guys is one of those steps. I want to remind people that this disease does not discriminate. Even legends like me can be affected.
Come on,
knowing the
sis.
symptoms of ovarian cancer, it's crucial to catching it early. I also want to highlight the importance of community, something I realised was key to my recovery. No one should have to go through life alone, especially battling cancer. So I just want to shout out to all the carers out there. You are actual angels. And I have to say my husband Samuel as well. Thanks for being my everything. And I'm so grateful I didn't do this alone. I'm a big believer in science. And I'm a big believer in God. And I'm a big believer in positive affirmation. So if my calculations are correct, if I've got all three of them on my side, I have a good chance of surviving this. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for donating as well.
Shalisha, ladies and gentlemen, Shalisha. Now, this remarkable young woman, she spoke from the heart. She spoke with honesty, and it was quite shocking to hear some of it. But I'm sure others have been shocked by it, so we shouldn't be shocked. But we're also gladdened that she looks so bloody nice. So, Adele would like us to know that she's only 25. She's a year older than I am. That makes sense. And we'd like you, on behalf of Touch of Teal, to accept that. Thank you.